Good morning, good morning. Welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Mike. It is the 30th of May, 11 a.m. Central European Time, 10 o'clock in the UK, and a lot later wherever you are around the world. We have another packed show, as always, this time of the morning. Tonight as well, Brogan will be doing the live trading show, probably 8 or 9 o'clock tonight. He hasn't decided. Where he goes through the charts, he'll look at any coins you want, shout out in chat, he'll go and look at them for you. So make sure to keep an eye on that tonight. The poll of the day is, just to get your kind of opinions on things, are we going to correct below $60,000? That's the poll of the day. You decide. So far, most people think not. 1 or 2 people think we are. Good morning to Hidden and Solo Sky and Mags. Welcome back to the stream. We have a lot to get through today. We're going to go through Cathie Woods. She has decided Bitcoin or Ethereum. We're going to go over the SEC being fined. We're going to go over the ETH, 1 billion in ETH. What's that about? The AI merge, we're going to cover that. Rookie mistakes that you can make in crypto. Pepe Pew Pew as well at the end. As you can probably imagine, that's to do with the meme coin. Bottom right hand corner, still $74,000. That's been there for way too long. We need to be breaking that. Bottom left hand corner, we are above 133,000 followers. We just tipped over it yesterday. We're 133,350. Make sure to hit the subscribe, the like, the follow button. Whatever you've got in front of you, hit that. And the theme of today's show is Be a Cow. Yesterday, we are all Stardust. Today, be a cow. I appreciate that cows are holy animals in certain religions. Wait until you see the video before you make your mind up. So before we get into the news, we're going to go through the markets and we're going to go through the X-Files. We're going to go and see where we are with Bitcoin, where we are with Ethereum, where we are with the markets in general. 67,650. We have been rejected off 69,000, which was yesterday, just before the show. In fact, we rejected off 69,000, and we haven't got anywhere near getting back towards 69,000 since. We're going to have a look at the Bitcoin chart and see what is likely to happen. Ethereum is coming in at 37,300. Markets in general are down 2%. Good morning, Kabir. Good morning, only you. Markets are down 2%. Volume is down 10%. Not a great deal of worry there, to be honest. Bitcoin dominance, I think tomorrow on Friday, I think we're going to go back over the Bitcoin dominance chart. We're going to look at the Bitcoin ETH chart again. I think we'll have a charty day tomorrow. I think we might even look at DeFi Llama and just try and get a grasp of where we are. Lots of things are happening in crypto. Lots of positive things are happening in crypto. But this kind of price action can worry and scare a lot of people. To some it's boring, to some it's frustrating. Just remember, be a cow. We will get to that in a minute. So 24-hour gainers and losers. Notcoin is up to 1.2%. I've made a video about this. Not a fan. think it's a race to zero. I did predict in the bull run it could get to 2 or 3 cents, but for me it's a hard pass. Audi is up just a touch, as is Monero. Not many gainers in the last 24 hours, and we have all of the meme coins are bleeding today. Excuse me. Bonk, Floki, Dog with Hat, Pepe, Ondo, all down. Remember, Ondo isn't a meme coin. Ondo, I am desperate to get my hands on Ondo as close to $1 as possible. So for me, some downward price action would be great. Kabir says Bitcoin is out of gas. Very funny, because we all know that Ethereum is the only one that uses gas. Book of Meme is down, Beam is down. So lots of losers, the majority of which are meme coins. Dupe is at a good price, $1.10. What else is down there that's considered what I would consider a good price? Hedera, HBAR, lots of people are very bullish on that. Fetch, 216. Again, we looked at the price action of that. It's going to merge. We're going to look at the chart. We're going to look at the news about the merge later on in the show. But that merge should have happened on the 24th of May, and it hasn't happened. So there is clearly some level of delay going on there that we don't know about. So let's get on with the X-Files. I'll try and do the show today in an hour, as I always do, but I'm going to try and get it done in an hour today. I've not had a chance to make any videos for the last couple of days, so I'm going to try and get to that today. So the SEC released an investor alert targeting meme coins, pump and dumps, and pre-sales. Remember, our advice, although it's not financial advice, do not go near pre-sales. Don't buy any coin until it has been live for some time. Pump and dumps normally happen within the first few days. It might be really enticing to go and buy half a sol, 0.1 sol, 0.1 ETH worth of a token that hasn't gone live because somebody on the internet told you to go and buy it. Don't do it. 99% of them are scams, and you're going to lose everything. So I am with the SEC on this case, and I do believe that anything to do with pre-sales is a recipe for disaster. And it doesn't matter who is advertising it, whether it be Caitlyn Jenner, whether it be Chris Rock, whether it be Shaquille O'Neal, they are all going to go to zero. Now then, Cointelegraph analysing the state of crypto by utilising on-chain data. Let's see which crypto protocols and dApps performed the best over the past week. This is a very quick scan through some of these. There's quite a few messages in chat. When are we getting our Jupiter staked back? Solo Sky, you can unstake your Jupe at any time. You don't have to keep it staked. You can go and unstake it. It takes 30 days and you will get your Jupe back. In July, you will be receiving an airdrop of Jupe, and when? You'll also be getting the tokens that you voted for over the next month or so. Solo Sky, please check out SolSex token. Yes, I'll have a look at that for you later on, if not in a video. Can you scalp ETH? Said Steph. We are going to have a little look at ETH, yes, later on. We're just going to get through the X-Files first. So this is the active users across crypto. Tron is up there, BNB, Polygon, Arbitrum, Bitcoin. These are the number of users that are using these chains on a weekly basis. Big numbers there already. These things over time will grow. You will start to see 10s and 20s and 30s of millions, especially with new chains like Base. That's going to see massive adoption over the next couple of years. Don't fade Base. Of course, the layer 2s on Ethereum, they're also going to take off. Solana is going to take off. There's going to be a lot of activity going on over the next couple of years, and some of these chains are going to explode. So this is the amount of revenue generated by that chain over the last few days. Tron is still number 1, Ethereum number 2, Solana a solid number 3. But look at the difference between the amount of revenue generated by Solana and that of Ethereum. Even though Solana is outperforming Ethereum on nearly every metric, Ethereum is making 5 times the revenue of Solana. 5 times the revenue means they can pay 5 times the amount to developers, 5 times to R&D. That's the key difference that Solana needs to overcome. How does it generate enough revenue to challenge Ethereum? Can it do that? That's the question. Now, we're not going to go through all of those stats. That was just a brief one. Moving on. I do not know where the time goes on these streams. Honestly, 10 minutes in, and we're not even past X-Files. So, the US Senator Bill Hagerty, who is currently serving first term representing Tennessee, will be speaking at Bitcoin 24. Again, every week we read out headlines and we read out snippets of things that I would never have expected to see 3 or 4 years ago. We would never have seen this. I know a few years ago the mayor of Miami turned up to one. He receives his salary in Bitcoin, but this is, again, we're going to see this more and more. We're going to see senators realizing that crypto is a vote winner. Remember, they haven't decided to like crypto overnight. They haven't decided that crypto is the future of America. No, they've realized that 50 million people in America hold crypto. That is roughly, for argument's sake, 1 in 5, 1 in 4 voters holds crypto. So of course they're going after the vote. These people are narcissists. All they care about is power. So they are going to turn up to any event where they can win votes, whether it be a pride event, whether it be a crypto event, whether it be an environmental event about climate change. They'll be there because they want that vote. That's what you have to remember. They are not suddenly Bitcoin maxis and ETH maxis. They're there for your vote if you're in America. Wherever you are in the world, if you've got a crypto conference going on and you start to see your politicians turning up, remember why they're there. They're there for your vote, and that is it. Right then, big news again overnight. PayPal's stablecoin PYUSD is now live on Solana. Big news, and PayPal are trying to slowly chip away at Tether and Circle's dominance. That's what they're trying to do. Now, Tether made, this is in 3 months, Tether made $4.5 billion profit in 3 months. PayPal made $888 million in Q1. So there is a massive disparity between the amount of money generated by a stablecoin and the amount of money generated by PayPal in total. So PayPal is trying to move in and get a little fraction of this market. Even if they take 10 or 15%, that will probably double their profits over the next year. So watch out for PayPal. I am sure they are going to be offering incentives to stake PYUSD. Now then, we've seen chop in the market. We've seen the market rip up. We've seen the market rip down. What I want you to do is just remember, try and have the same calmness as this cow. Okay? Be a cow. Don't worry about 69, 70, 66, 67,000. We're at the start of a journey. This cow is just enjoying swimming down what looks to be a storm drain. Relaxed and calm and still. Take emotion out of crypto. Don't just sell all of your crypto because you're fed up or you're bored of waiting. We had the halving last month. The halving. Crypto will take 12, probably 18 months to reach all-time highs. Not only are we going to have a supply shock for Bitcoin, we're going to have a supply shock for Ethereum as well. So be careful. Be careful that you don't get shaken out by the bad actors. Be a cow. And that's the last X-File before we actually get on to the news. And we're going to talk about Cathie Woods. Cathie Woods was asked her opinion whether she would go for Bitcoin or Ethereum. Now, if you ask me, it's always going to be Bitcoin. Always going to be Bitcoin. Cathie Wood chooses Bitcoin over Ethereum, hands down. Now, Cathie Wood is probably in my top 3 people in crypto that I like. She is super smart. She is super switched on. She has some slightly overly bullish targets for Bitcoin. In my opinion, she did have a target of $1 million for Bitcoin. Excuse me. She's revised that to $2.8 million for Bitcoin. I think giving people unrealistic targets is not healthy. And yes, she said it's 2032, 2033. I get that, 2034, I think. But let's not tell people today that Bitcoin is going to go to $2.3 million when it's at 68,000. Is there 50 million KYC in the USA as crypto users? That figure looks like a thumb suck. Good morning, Jenny. Kabir, what I would say is, and again, this isn't just me hypothesizing, I would say that there are more than likely double that number of people in crypto, in America that hold crypto. I would say there's 50 million people who have conducted KYC on exchanges in America. I would then imagine that there are many more who have got maybe MetaMask, who maybe use Uniswap or Jupiter or PancakeSwap and aren't necessarily going through the exchanges. That's what I would say. Good morning to Jenny, if I've not read that out. So, Cathie Wood, there she is. She heads up ARK Invest. She's the CEO. She has put her belief in Bitcoin for an investment at the conference. Consensus is going on in America right now. All the big, super important crypto influencers are at Consensus, which is why I am on streaming to you today. I'm not there because I am not seen as important yet. Neither is the Oracle. But one day, the Oracle will be there. So speaking at the event, she emphasized the unique qualities of Bitcoin, describing it as a global monetary system, a tech, a new asset class. No other crypto comes close to the potential and significance of Bitcoin. Absolutely. Now, there are many of you out there who know. Let's look at the facts. Is it the fastest blockchain? No. Does it have the most utility? No. Does it have the most users? No. So it's slower, less used, and more difficult, I suppose, to actually change than any other blockchain. But it has first mover advantage. It's over 50% of the crypto market. It is trusted by the financial institutions. It is trusted by countries. All of those things give it probably an unassailable lead. There is not a single crypto asset that exists that comes close to Bitcoin, irrespective of what argument you put up. The American election this year, I'm not saying it's going to be won or lost on crypto. It's part of the election. Bitcoin is part of the election. That's what sets it aside from everything else. Now, over time, Ethereum is going to get that gold standard stamp of approval from people in suits and ties, okay? Countries will probably start to add Ethereum to their treasuries. Now, many of you will know, or you've watched the show when we've talked about the global reserve currency. And many of you probably don't know, that didn't watch the show, that there isn't a single global reserve currency. It's a portfolio, of which the American dollar makes up about 60%. The oil money goes through the dollar, all of these things. We know all of this. Now, over time, expect Bitcoin to become 1, 2, or 3% of the global reserve currency, and expect nation states, El Salvador's led the way, to buy Bitcoin and store it. Why? Are they doing it because they're techie geeks? No. Are they nerds? No. They're doing it because they realize that over time it becomes an inflation hedge. That's the key to Bitcoin. It's an inflation hedge. It is not meant to revolutionize MasterCard or Visa or PayPal. It's not meant to do that. It's supposed to be a store of value, and Cathie Woods is absolutely bang on the money, as she would do, because she's researched it. She has teams of people that explain these things to her, and she has conversations with the brightest people in the world about Bitcoin. Michael Saylor, even though he's done a 180, Michael Saylor is still one of the leading experts on Bitcoin. These people understand in more depth than I can describe to you. So she knows Bitcoin is an insurance policy for countries and individuals whose purchasing power and wealth are being eroded. What's it being eroded by? Debasement. What is debasement? When a country prints money, that money, that extra money that comes into the money supply, devalues the money in your pocket. Why are you poorer today than you were 3 years ago? Debasement. Money printing devalued your money in your pocket, and that makes everything more expensive. So when you see inflation being blamed on Eastern Europe, being blamed on other things that are going on, the pandemic, no. The only way to generate inflation is by your country printing money. End of story. There is no other way to do it. A fixed money supply, such as Bitcoin, can only go up in value over time. It won't devalue over time, especially if it's used like very similar to gold. Gold has been a great store of value over the last probably 300, 400 years. All right, let's have a quick look. There we go. Hoo-ha, we've worked. Now then, we have a dilemma. Good morning, Peter, or should I say good evening, Peter. Welcome to the show. Remember, if you're new here, smash the subscribe button, like button, say hello in chat. If you type in chat every once in a while, it helps the algorithm, and that is great for all kinds of things. Now, we don't want to cover Bitcoin in too much depth, but I just want to point out, I've got the poll running today. And the poll is, I am new here every day. The poll is, are we going to go below $60,000? That's the poll. And so far, we have got nearly 70% saying no, 30% saying yes. Now, I just wanted to get people's opinions of where we are going to go. Now, I've got the weekly chart up, and what worries me is, and again, it's not a big worry. I'm not massively worried, but look at what happened. We were rejected at the 71.3 level, which I expected us to try and get near. We've then been rejected at the 70,000 level. So rejected at 71, rejected at 70. Now, what happened yesterday? If we zoom in a little bit more, we've now got this next level. I'm going to have to draw yet another line. You know what? I won't. Let's just nick a line. Okay. Now, look where we are now. About there. Okay. 69.4 we're getting rejected off. So, we're getting rejected off 71, rejected off 70, now rejected off 69. It's a slight downward movement. Bitcoin might get rejected, but I get rejected at every club. Do you know what, Peter? I gave up. I gave up a long time ago with that kind of action. So, where are we forming some level of support? We're forming it down here at 67,000. So, that was resistance, and now we've kind of got a nice area of support at 67,000. But what happens if 67,000 goes? Well, we have probably that next area there, which is the next volume area, which comes in at 66.2. What happens if 66.2 goes? We're starting to look back towards this range here, which is down at 64. Now, I'm not saying we're going to do this. I'm just saying that there is an argument to be made that we are moving down. There's also the argument to be made. He's changed the colour of the lines again, hasn't he? Right. There we go. Let's make it a bit thicker so we can see. So there is also the argument that we are moving in this general direction, and maybe what's going to happen is that this is some kind of like bullish move, and what's actually going to happen is we're going to pop. That is a distinct possibility. So I'm not saying we're in trouble yet. I'm not saying we're going to move down. I'm not saying we're going to break 60,000. I was just trying to get people's opinions. I think that we're going to have a breakout. Every time Bitcoin has done this kind of action and it's kind of struggled, we've had a movement, and that movement has been to the upside. We've had our retracement, we've broken all the way down. If you think we came over the week, we came down from 72-ish, we came down to 66, that's almost a 10% move. We're struggling to get above 69.4. If we can get above 68 towards 69, then we're looking good. It's just something on the horizon. Why is that important to you? Because maybe you can pick up some cheaper Bitcoin over the next week or so. So if you're thinking of dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin over the next few weeks, now might not be a bad time to put some buy orders in at $65,000, $66,000. That might not be a bad idea. Now then, this happened, and this was super exciting. The SEC has been ordered to pay a startup $1.8 million to pay its legal fees. Why? Because the SEC abused its powers. Now, where have we said that before? We've said that many times. But we now have a judge with a beautiful beard and a beautiful black gown tell you that they've abused their powers. So it legitimizes us. That's what it does. It legitimizes us. We know they're abusing their power, and our judge has now agreed to that. So the case has been dismissed. The company was accused of defrauding investors for $49 million. It was dismissed without prejudice. Without prejudice means there's nothing moving forward on the case. The SEC deemed to have exercised a gross abuse of power. The SEC was sanctioned for making false statements. Where have we heard that before? False statements about some crypto exchanges that have been sued in America. False accusations against XRP, which have been thrown out. So why is a government body lying in court? Ask yourself that question. When the bull run ends and the bear market starts, will SOL go back under $100? If the ETF for SOL is approved next year, you will never see $100 SOL again. That is my prediction. The market cap of Solana, look at Ethereum. Ethereum, I was saying, isn't going to get above $3,000. Why? Because it was never going to get the ETF this year. We're probably never going to see $2,000 ETH again. $2,500 ETH maybe, depending on the time scale for these ETFs. That's the key. I've said it before on the channel, you know, we might never see $40,000 Bitcoin again. We might never see $50,000 Bitcoin again. And that is, you know, I'm going to be wrong sometimes, but on the whole, I expect us to be right, because the market caps, we're in an industry which is going through the expansion phase. Blockchains are growing, more users are coming online. Solana below $100, it would have to happen now. It would have to happen for me in 2024. We're going to need to see some serious black swan, and they do exist. There is a certain one going on in Taiwan at the minute where there could be a major conflict about to begin. That could happen, and that could cause a black swan event, and you'd see under $100 for Solana. But if that doesn't happen, then we are never going to see a $90 Solana again, $95 Solana again. The longer we go on through this bull run, the higher we go. I just think we are going to go up. Just a 3-minute advert was about finance, but good. That is how I support. Also expect when people come to. Yeah, you shouldn't be seeing a 3-minute advert. I don't know how many adverts people are seeing because I don't control it. I can, of course, turn it off, but I don't know how many you're seeing. If you're seeing one every minute or one every 2 minutes, then that needs to be fixed. I'll have a look at it, but it shouldn't be. So resignation, 2 SEC lawyers resigned following the judge's criticism of the SEC. So we don't need to get their state. What we need to take from this is we've now got validation that our belief that they are abusing their power is the case. That is the problem. And we need to understand that not everybody in office has the best wishes and the best intentions for you. What is the SEC supposed to do? It's supposed to protect the individuals. What is the FCA in the UK supposed to do? Protect the individuals. They're supposed to look after you. They are not supposed to penalise companies because of political sway. It is not about that. It is supposed to be about creating a fair market. Now, Ethereum breaks the 1 billion mark in tokenized US treasuries. Now, this is, for me, we've got 2 big markets going on at the minute. AI, which we're going to talk about in a second, and RWA, real world assets. Now, they've existed for a long time. I bought Chainlink a long time ago because of its real world asset application. How are we going to change the world if we can't impact the real world? We can't just create something and have our own digital playground where we run around and pretend to be dinosaurs and monkeys. That's not going to work. So real world assets and the tokenization of real world assets is one element of how we can impact the real world. The same with education, the same with healthcare. There's a crossover between AI and all of this anyway, so it's all kind of merging into one great big blockchain. Now, $1 billion in tokenized US treasuries is a fair old wallop. It's only been around for, I don't know when. I actually made a phone call when it happened and I said, you need to get into this token. And that was way back when. Now, Build, B-U-I-D-L, is the name of the fund. It's got $473 million in it. If you haven't got any RWA tokens in your portfolio, I would strongly suggest going and doing some research on RWA tokens, because it's going to be huge. And why is it going to be huge? Because it already exists. We know the value of it, and now they're tokenizing it. And they're tokenizing it so they can extract more value and more fees from it. BlackRock wants to create a 24/7 digital tokenized stock market where you can trade everything: gold, oil, treasuries, stocks, bonds, because then they control it and they own the pie. They want to own the pie. They don't want to eat all the pie. They want to own the pies and sell you the pies. So by owning all of the stock market, all of the real world assets, all of the crypto, they will have achieved their goal. So Ethereum is the chosen one. It's the golden child. It's going to be used for these real world assets. And if you go down here very quickly, you look at the market caps of the various different things. Solana, yes, a little bit. Stellar, yes. Ethereum, the major one. It's going to be the major move. Now, Ondo, that's the one for me. I'm going to try and buy Ondo as close to $1 as possible. If there is a market correction in the next few weeks and Ondo goes anywhere near $1, I'll be buying that. I already have ICP. I already have Chainlink. I already have a lot of the other ones, but I think Ondo for me is going to be a big one. And why is it important to me? Because if I'm in the bear market and I've sold and I'm sitting on this big bag of cash, and I don't want to sit on this big bag of cash any longer, I want to put it into real world assets. What I would normally have to do is bring it down to my bank and send it to an investment house. If I've got the opportunity of getting US treasuries, US bonds, US gilts, whatever it might be, I don't have to take the money out of the ecosystem. So this for me is my bear market solution. Now, if it's a bear market solution, why is the price of Ondo going to drop like everything else? It isn't, because the value within these US treasuries, US bonds, isn't going to drop with the bear market. Bitcoin will go down, Ethereum will go down, US treasuries won't go down, US bonds won't go down. So why would Ondo go down? Ondo will split away from the crypto market during the bear market because it will be holding its value because its fees are based on real world assets. That is why I am so bullish on Ondo and no other reason. Now, if BlackRock decide to move on to a different chain like Solana or whatever else it might be, and they use another token on Solana, I will also be bullish on that Solana token as well. Your voice reminds me of the character on Only Fools and Horses, Rodney Trotter. Do you know what? Nicholas, is he called Nicholas Lyndhurst? I think it's Nicholas Lyndhurst. I liked him, Rodney. My nickname at university was Gromit because I would always roll my eyes at people, and I've just rolled my eyes at you. Let's move on then. Let's have a very quick look at the charts. There is possibly a thing. What am I looking at now? What's this chart? Ethereum. I've got the Ethereum chart up. Okay. We're looking at Ethereum now. We looked at Ethereum yesterday, and I'm going to look at Ondo again in a second. But we have this rejection point, $4,000. And we're looking at the weekly. So again, we're not going to look at any RSI. We're not going to look at any movements. Why is Ethereum going to drop 20 or 30%? It's not, is it? We're waiting on the news. Now, the S1s, the first S1 was filed last night by BlackRock. All of the other S1s are going to be approved. Now, I said to you, maybe last week, that I think the date for the Ethereum launch will be July the 4th. Why? Because a certain Joe Biden and a certain Democrat Party and a certain American group, they like dates. They like things. If you look at when they left certain places, they coincided it with anniversaries. You know the kind of thing I'm talking about. Well, July the 4th is Independence Day. So I think they're going to launch the Ethereum ETF on July the 4th. Now, last night, I nearly dropped my cup of my gin and tonic because Eric Balchunas, who I follow for ETF news, he has also come out and said that he expects the ETF to be launched on July the 4th because we are almost in June. We've only got 4 weeks, 5 weeks at a push from here to the end of June. So it can't really be done in June. It's too fast. So July would be the launch date. July the 4th, mark your calendars, 5 weeks from today, roughly, maybe 4 weeks and 5 days from today, is when I think the Ethereum ETF will be launched. Where do I think the price will be when it is announced? I think you will be looking around that level. In fact, I am going to put an X there. That's where I think the price of Ethereum will be on July the 4th, somewhere in that circle. It's not going to go to $10,000 before the ETF. Now, is the scenario going to be this, like we saw with Bitcoin? Because Bitcoin retraced after the ETF. Is there going to be a massive sell the news event where people think, right, we're at $5,000, I'm selling Ethereum? Maybe. We'll see. But remember, there is a smaller number of Ethereum on exchanges. It only has a third of the market cap of Bitcoin. So I expect more volatility in Ethereum than I did in Bitcoin, which means massive swings. Remember, if somebody buys $1 billion of Bitcoin in a week, it will move the market a little bit, of course. If somebody buys $1 billion of Ethereum, it's going to make 3, 4, 5 times the difference. So expect that. Now, so that's what I'm expecting for Ethereum. I'm expecting $5,000 by July the 4th. I'm going to give you targets because they're the targets I expect. Now, Ondo, we're not going to look at the weekly, we're going to look at the daily. Now, again, where do I want to get my Ondo from? What price range do I want to get my Ondo from? Well, we sat there for a really long time, and that was at 80 cents. I don't think we're going to see 80 cents. So I'm going to start to buy Ondo at $1.02-ish. However, I'm not expecting to get it at that price. That's wishful thinking on my part. If Ondo gets down towards $1, I think that is an absolutely stunning price to get Ondo at. Anything between 80 cents, anywhere near 80 cents, then I'm going to go all in. I'm not even going to DCA. If we get to 90 or 80 cents, I'm just going to buy my bag. But if we get towards $1, that's when I'll slowly start to buy in. Now, the question asked in chat was, does Ondo have a very low circulating supply compared to total supply? Yes, it does. It's only got 14% of its tokens in supply. So what we would need to do is go and work out why. I am not a fan of any token that is launched with less than 60% circulating supply. And I talk about this a lot. I talk about certain launch pills and things that come out. We talk about they start with a 10 or 15% on there. My key is that you need to know what the release is. So if that additional supply is over a 10-year period, it's not as bad. If that supply is over a 3-year period, it's really bad. What return are you looking to get with Ondo? I would expect Ondo to easily go between $10 and $15 for Ondo. Because remember, this isn't a crypto token as as compared to other crypto tokens, which are basing their revenue on crypto. It's basing its revenue on traditional assets. So for me, it's a bit different. It's like looking at some of the AI projects. A lot of the revenue they will generate will come from real world businesses. You know, research and development can be done using AI and paid for in crypto. So the money is coming in to crypto to use these projects. Whereas if you look at maybe some of the projects on Solana, some of the projects on Ethereum, they derive their revenue from crypto. So Uniswap, for example, Jupiter, the money comes from crypto. There's a difference. It's fresh money compared to swill money. The money's still swilling around. So that's the difference for me. So I expect Ondo to at least be 10, 20, 30 billion in a fully built out ecosystem where they have multiple sets of real world assets. Relio is exactly the same. Relio is exactly the same. Any token that connects the real world to crypto and can derive its revenue from real world, they are going to detach themselves from crypto. Yeah, I think if Bitcoin tanks, then yes, this will go to 50 or 60 cents. If we see Bitcoin at $60,000, this will be at 50 or 60 cents, and I'll just buy more. I don't want too much of a bag. Remember, these are small bags. I'm only buying about $500 of these types of tokens. The same with, what was it called that I bought the day? Near. I did get a tiny bit of IMX, but again, I don't want to end up with 50 tokens. That's what I've got to be careful about. Now then, this is the news which hasn't been announced. Let me get rid of that. And the reason it hasn't been announced is puzzling to me. And that is, I made a video about this. ASI, Artificial Super Intelligence Token, is a combination of Fetch, Ocean, and Singularity. The reason I've put this into the show today is because I haven't mentioned it for ages. And the reason I haven't mentioned it for ages is because it was announced that the vote was going to finish the day after the halving, which was when? April 20th? So we're a month and a half down the line. It was supposed to merge on the 24th of May. I've heard nothing about it. I did go and find the ASI Twitter account. I found that a few days ago. So I thought I'd try and see if there was something out there. Now, this is dated May the 29th. It's not on the screen for you. Now, why is this important? Because the price of this token is going to skyrocket. Excuse me. Sorry. It's very thirsty today. So, these three tokens are going to merge. And they're going to merge, and I've said this before, ASI, Artificial Super Intelligence. I can say that to you, and you're going to go, oh, that's an AI token. If I say to you Fetch, if I say to you Ocean Protocol, if I say to you Singularity, you really don't know what they are. You might think Ocean Protocol has something to do with looking after the beaches and the whales and the turtles. You might think Fetch is to do with dogs. You might think Singularity is to do with the cosmos. None of them signify what it actually is going to do. Artificial Superintelligence is a masterstroke of a name because it does what it says on the tin. And they are going to merge, and I think the token is going to rip. The reason it's going to rip is retail will now know what it is. And I've said this 1,000 times. If I show somebody in retail three meme coins, and I say Bonk, I say Pepe, I say Trump, which one are they going to pick? Trump. No research, no idea about market cap or token supply or anything. They're going to go for Trump. If they see ASI token, Artificial Super Intelligence, on their computer, they're going to go, AI, I've heard a lot about that, I'm going to buy it. Now, retail are going to bring a load of money to this. So I'm not oversimplifying it. I'm not looking at what it's actually going to do. I'm talking about the psychology of it. It's a new token. So it will come with all the hullabaloo of a new token, but it's 3 existing companies that don't technically compete. So Fetch and Singularity were working on hallucinations. For those of you that don't know, hallucinations is where AI just gets things wrong. A great example was somebody asked Google AI, I think it was, to produce a digitized image of the big rock in America that's got the 4 faces on it, and it produced the same rock, but they were all black people. AI hallucinates and just gets things dramatically wrong. You might have heard about in the news, it was telling you to eat rocks the other day. It was telling you to put super glue on a pizza to keep the cheese attached to the bread. So AI isn't really trusted when it's in the wrong hands. So these guys are trying to work on solutions, and they're going to come together and create a massive company. Now, it's only going to be valued at 5.8 billion at this moment in time. That is small fry, in my humble opinion. The merger is set to be finalised on June the 13th. So that is 3 weeks later than expected. FET will become ASI. Now, this was the other question that other people asked. It's going to exist on multiple chains. People who've got Singularity on, for example, Cardano, people might have Fetch on Ethereum. Those tokens are going to be multi-chain. And if you've got them on an exchange, your exchange is going to look after you. You don't need to do anything. If you have them in your non-custodial wallet, you need to go to the relevant website on your chain and exchange them. And that's going to be indefinitely. So this is happening on June the 13th, which is roughly 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks today, we're going to have this new token. It's going to rip. Now, it's not going to rip to $50 billion market cap overnight, but it's going to go higher. It's probably going to go, I would say, conservatively, 10 to 15 billion if the market hasn't corrected. If Bitcoin tanks, then ignore everything I'm saying. But if all things being equal, we can get to June the 13th without an invasion or anything like that, then expect this to go to a double-digit market cap because it's greater than the sum of the parts. They will also be able to do what isn't, I mean, it's not very nice for the people working there, but they'll be able to merge things like the accounts department, the marketing teams, they'll all be able to merge. That creates economies of scale that will bring down the cost base of the project and the team. Yes, it means redundancies, but that's just a fact of life. They're going to become a more profitable business and be able to put more fingers in more pies. Fetch was always the sensible one, the education, the healthcare. Singularity was always the funky one that made you music playlists, removed backing tracks from singers, all that kind of cool stuff. Oceans was a bit of both and did other things in the background. So it's going to be big and it's going to happen very soon, and keep your eye out for it. If you already hold Fetch, if you already hold any of these tokens on an exchange, remember, you don't need to do anything, but I do expect a decent price move. Now, don't expect it to go too high either, because I will certainly be taking profits if this rips to the upside, because I bought FET probably, I think I bought it at about 30 or 40 cents. Now, if this is a one-for-one swap and this token goes anywhere near $4 or $5, then I will have 10x'd my money. I'm not sure I'm not going to take profits. But if it stays at $2.50 to $3, I'm likely to hold it. Now, I drew this chart a long time ago, so I came to this last night and I was talking to Brogan about it. And one of the things that's important about this is that the analogy, you've run in to fight the orcs and your army's down here. Your support is down there. So what happens is you have to hold on and you have to wait for it to catch up. And it did that very successfully from February all the way through to June. Your support basically has arrived. And what did you do? You waited for them there. So for me, Fetch is in a good position in terms of price. RSI's come down a little bit. It's majorly overbought. But for me, Fetch is doing well. And this chart is going to disappear. Singularity and the Ocean Protocol charts are all going to disappear. It's going to merge into one. If there's a black swan event, things will get seriously dark, I guess, with the news happening around the globe. The issue with black swans is that the timing of them is also important. And what I mean by that is, if the black swan happens now or in the next 2 or 3 months, the markets can recover by the end of the bull run. If we get the black swan in March or February, it will negate everything and it will kill all the positive news from the new president of America. It will kill all the positive news from ETFs, and it will just absolutely tank the market. Now, we know they happen from time to time, and the severity of them can range. So if you look at the pandemic, that's a major black swan event that shut down the world economy. There's others which are less significant and have less impact on the world, and they are, minor black swans. So we need a major black swan event to really kick crypto in the nuts, in my opinion. So for me, if you're out there now and you're thinking, do I get into tokens now? What you can do is go and look at the price of Fetch, Oceans, and Singularity, and you can arbitrage them. You know that you're going to get 0.4 ASI for Singularity, 0.4 ASI for Oceans, and 1-for-1 for Fetch. So get a spreadsheet open, work out which is the cheapest way of getting access to ASI. Maybe it's to buy Singularity, I don't know. But certain people are playing those 3 tokens off against each other, and they have been doing since it was announced and since the ratio was announced. And that ratio is in the article. Go and look up ASI token, go and find an article about it, and it will tell you which one to buy. Because in theory, Ocean and Singularity should be the same price, because you're getting 0.4 ASI for each of those tokens. So go and have a look, see what you can find. I think $2.17 is a fair price for Fetch. Remember, we did have the super run up from bottoms. It's done incredibly well, but it's going to go through another bullish phase. It's going through a merger. Now we're going to crack on because we've only got a few minutes left. And I've got a couple of videos I need to make today. I've got one about a project that was in chat and another one probably about a meme coin today, I think. So then, what's this about? So far, I'm going to go through this one fairly quickly. Like I say, I'm going to try and get done by 12 today. So 5 crypto investing mistakes you must avoid. Now, again, I've very briefly gone over these, but I will give you my opinions on them because that's what I'm here for. Short-term thinking, absolutely. If you buy Bitcoin today and we go through a correction down to $60, you'll get buyer's remorse and you'll regret buying at $66,000. And in the short term, in the maelstrom, you're not being like a cow. Remember, be a cow. Just let the water flow past you and relax. If you get at $66,000 and we drop to 60, you'll get buyer's remorse. If we go to 75,000, you're going to think you're Warren Buffett. Neither of those two things are true. You are neither Warren Buffett and you are neither an idiot investor. You just bought in the cycle. That's all you've done. And over a very long period of time, your purchase of Bitcoin will turn out to be one of the best investments you will ever make. The same can go for Ethereum, the same can go for Solana and some of those other tokens. You can buy at 40 cents, for example. You could buy a Cardano at 40 cents. It could drop to 35. The new announcement that's going to come out about Hydra and everything else it's doing, it'll pump it up to 60 cents. It's all about thinking for the long term. Now, long term for me, I've got different versions of long term. I've got long term November next year. That's one. I've then got maybe summer 2026. Is that when I should start accumulating back in? So I have different targets, and that might not be long term to certain people. There might be some of you out there who are 20, 22 years of age who've bought Bitcoin that aren't going to sell for 15 years. That's, again, long-term thinking. For me, I'm thinking more medium-term, 12 to 18 months to 2 years. That's my thinking. Short-term thinking is don't chase Don't chase tornadoes. Don't chase those coins that have ripped, because they're either going to correct or they're not going to move in price. If they don't move in price, you are going to get frustrated and sell, potentially at a loss. Not researching is the biggest one. I can sit here and tell you about Ondo, and tell you about Near, tell you about Fetch, tell you about Chainlink. If you cannot explain those tokens to somebody in a lift that goes up 3 flights of 3 floors in that period of time, if you can't describe that token, you need to go away and do some research on it. You need to understand why have you bought those tokens. Going back to Warren Buffett, what does he do every morning for breakfast? He eats a McDonald's. Why does he do that? Because he holds stock in McDonald's and he wants to taste and test the quality of the product. If he goes in and over a few weeks that breakfast starts to become poorer quality, guess what Warren Buffett is going to do? He is going to sell all of his McDonald's shares. If you don't know and don't keep track of your tokens and the projects, how are you going to know whether that project has run to a standstill? You need to watch, you need to read, and you need to learn. That's why, in my opinion, you can't hold 300 tokens, because you don't have the time in the day to track them. It's important. Incorrect wallet address, I'm not even going to look at that one. You don't need to be told how to copy and paste addresses. Complex trading strategies. Exactly. I'm glad this one is in here. Let me highlight this. That line there is super important. Don't follow some crazy fool on the internet that's telling you to follow the BXMY strategy to get 10,000x gains. Do you know who's making 10,000x gains? The person telling you to pay $100 for that stupid course. That's the person who's making money. They are selling snake oil. They are telling you crazy things which they may understand. You have no idea, but you think, oh, they're a clever person, I'm going to follow them and they're going to lead me to glory. And what will happen is, after a year, you'll turn around and say, well, I'm $1,200 lighter and I've not made any money, and Mr. YouTube influencer is walking away with £500,000. When you see a lot of these YouTubers who have a lot of money, they've got their money from you. They haven't got it from trading. They haven't got it from being an OG. There are OGs out there, don't get me wrong. There are people that have been in Bitcoin for the last 10 years, 8 years, and they do know what they're talking about, and they are really good at their job. And guess what? They don't charge you. They don't charge you a dime to watch their videos. And you've got the other ones that have been around for 4 or 5 years that offer the super duper splendiferous trading strategy for $100 a month. They're the people you need to watch out for. If they're giving you their advice for free, and they are doing it, and they've been there, and their YouTube channel is 10 years old. Ben Cowan is a good example. Even though he has a Telegram group, he is a good example. Everything he does is free, and that's the way it should be. But don't follow a complex strategy. Follow a simple strategy where you don't get confused. Again, if you can't describe the strategy, then you shouldn't be following it. Putting money at risk that you can't afford to lose. If you have a $1,000 a month mortgage and you buy Bitcoin on the 1st of the month for $1,000, and you get to the 28th of the month and you realize that it's at $900, you're going to have to sell at a loss to pay your mortgage or pay your rent. That's not the right thing to do. The good advice that I've heard is you should have 6 to 12 months worth of money in a bank account that you can live off before you should start looking at going heavily into any crypto, because it's massively volatile. So these are really good points. All of them are really good points. None of them are really related, but they are all related, if that makes any sense. So it's very good. FOMO is the killer. I am telling you the tokens that I am going to buy, and I'm telling you when I'm going to try and buy them. I do not suddenly turn around one day and go, you know, it'd be a good idea to buy this token, and then just rush headlong into it. I told you about Near when it was at $586 because I held off and held off and held off until I realized that this coin was always going to do even better than I expected. So I bought it. Ondo, I could have bought Ondo at 20, 30, 40 cents, and I didn't. Why? Because it was too young, hadn't been proven, and it might sound crazy, but now it's at a better price to buy because it's more established. So I am not rushing into buying anything. That's not the plan, or not my plan, certainly. And you should do the same thing. If you find a token that you like, watch it for a couple of weeks, read the articles about it, see who they've got partnerships with, and then buy. Don't buy Ondo because I'm buying it. Don't buy NEAR because I'm buying it. If you'd have bought FET, when I bought FET, and when I told people about buying FET, you would have 7x'd your money by now in a year. That's one example of it doing really well. I'm sure there are other examples of me telling you not to get tokens, or this looks overvalued, this looks overpriced, and it's carried on ripping up. I'm never going to be 100% right, but I will always try and give you my opinion. Now, meme coin PEP surpasses the market value of all major NFT collections combined. So, Pepe, which is a frog, has absolutely dwarfed all NFT collections. Now, I think that says more about NFTs than it does about Pepe, in my opinion. I'll keep this quick because it's 12 o'clock, and I know a lot of you probably want to go to bed, or you want to go and get on with your lives, which is fair enough, so I'll keep this as quick as I can. Pepe is larger than all major non-NFTs combined. Pepe's got a market cap of 6.2 billion. Incredible, incredible. I still can't believe these meme coins are doing this well. 10% above the total market cap of all PFP NFT collections. Moreover, Pepe is also outclassing major NFT collections by daily trading volume, 1.3 billion in volume compared to 12.8 million in the NFT market space. Now, I think that the key here to understand is, I don't hold any value in NFTs. I don't hold any value in Pepe. It's like watching two drunks fighting over a pizza outside a pub at 2 o'clock in the morning. I am nonplussed about either person. I am nonplussed about the pizza. I have no interest whatsoever. But I understand a lot of people like Pepe and Bonk and meme coins, and I like some of them. I've liked Bonk in the past. Pepe I've got history with, because Pepe I called trash 18 months ago, maybe 15 months ago. I called it trash, and it's gone on a huge run. Most people that invested in Pepe have made 10, 20, 30x returns. I told them it was a terrible idea because it's got no backing, no team behind it. We don't know what the project is. And of course, I was wrong on that one, but I was right on 20 others that went to zero. So I don't care about Pepe and all of these NFTs, apart from, I would say, Bored Ape Yacht Club and CryptoPunks. I hold no value in many of those other tokens. I know a lot of people like Azuki or Azuka, what it's called. A lot of people like that. There is Mutant Ape Yacht Club. I don't consider that to be a different project. It's the same thing. So I'm looking at something I don't care about, but I'm showing you because it's newsworthy and it's been doing the rounds, and I don't do a lot of NFT stuff on here anyway. So Pepe reached all-time high. I'm going to bring up the Pepe chart because I want to give you another warning on Pepe. I'm never going to stop warning people about Pepe. Pepe is one of the meme coins showing best performance recently, going up 11% in 1 month and registering a new all-time high 3 days ago. Now, this is what I want to tell you about. I do not know what is going on outside, but I am hearing massive explosions. So maybe we found some World War II mines and they're blowing them up. So, why am I warning you about Pepe? Well, first of all, let me explain where we are. Come on, there we go. Right, drag that along a little bit. So we're on the weekly. Let's go to the daily. Right, so I'm going to draw some little symbols on here. Where should you buy Pepe? Here. Where should you not buy Pepe? Here. Where did most people buy Pepe? Here. What is this? This is a tornado. Now you know why I draw a tornado, because it's a spiral down. People buy pumps because the coin goes into the news. and it goes into the psyche. And you will look at the price of Pepe and go, oh, look, it's 0.00001346. Pepe's a really good price. No, it isn't. Pepe's ripped up all-time highs. There's only one place to go from an all-time high, and that is down. I've shown you the fetch chart. You've seen it. It stopped, it came down, and it held that price. That's because it went into price discovery, and now it needs to form a new support. Pepe reached this fib level, and now is going to go where? I think, and again, I am not a betting man, but that's the price I would put for Pepe. So for me, that's probably another, what's that, 20% retracement. Is that a bad thing? No, it's not. It's healthy. Look at its bull market support band. Bull market support band is down there. Now, we talk about bouncing off the bull market support band and that helping like a trampoline. So it goes like this. But as always, it will come down again. So more than likely, that will do that. We're going to come down. We're going to retrace about 20%. I personally would be shorting Pepe. Now, I'm not going to tell you to do that, but I don't think it's going to go. I don't think it's going to do this, because we've just seen all of the meme coins have corrected. They've all ripped up and they're all going to come back again. Now, again, the other argument maybe is that you could argue that Pepe, I wish that boy would change the colour of my lines back when he is finished with them there. So that's a possibility as well. And again, that is almost at the price we were talking about. So if I go back here, so there is a little bit of confluence around that price. I'm not saying we're going to drop straight down there, but I think a 20% retracement is due for Pepe. And again, I'm not saying this coin isn't going to go higher. I'm not saying it's not going to hit 10 or 15 billion. I'm saying if you want to buy the coin, you shouldn't be buying it there. You should be buying it here. And buying it here means you've missed it and you're FOMOing in. So wait for coins to come back down. Look, the RSI is coming down. That's a good sign. We want it to come down. We want it to tank. We want it to get back to a price which is previous levels of resistance, previous levels of support. Let's see if we can get a bounce off Pepe like that. And if we can, there's the price to get Pepe at, not all-time highs. You shouldn't be buying anything at an all-time high unless it's a brand new coin and it's constantly going through price discovery. Then yes, you can, because look at the market cap. If the market cap is $100, $200, $300 million, yes, then it can go and do multiples. If it's at 6, 7 billion, where is it going to go? Where is Pepe going to go from where it is today? Let's look at some numbers. Okay, so Pepe is already ranked 21st. It's already got 5.6 billion market cap. Now, for those of you out there that might think this could 3x from here, that would put it at 17 billion. Okay, so Pepe would go to the value of Cardano. Is that possible? Maybe. We've got Doge here at 22.9. So Doge is the benchmark. That's the max cap of memes at this moment in time. So the maximum that Pepe could run up is a 4x. Maximum. Is it likely to do that when we've just seen that kind of price action? No. It's likely to retrace 20%. That would bring it down to a $4.8 billion market cap, which would put it back down here, 25th. Yeah, I think that's where it should be. So let's not get overexcited by these meme rips. Buy the dips, don't buy the tips. Anyway, 12:09, overrun again. Thank you everybody for tuning in. see you all in the morning. I'm going to go and make some videos now. It's been a couple of days since I've made some videos, so I need to go and make some videos. And then I will see you in the morning. Remember, Brogan is back. Brogan is back at 8 or 9 o'clock tonight. So make sure you tune in for some chart action. He's going to go through the coins to buy, the prices to buy those coins at. He will do requests in chat. So if you've got anything you need to ask him, make sure to ask him. I'm going to add it to the calendar now. If it's not in the calendar, I will add it to the calendar now. So if you give me half an hour, the trading show will be there for you to see. But until tomorrow, thank you everybody for tuning in. As always, great to see you all. I will see you in the morning. Have a great afternoon. Remember, be a cow. See you tomorrow.